My God! My God! Why have you forsaken me? Why have you
Jonathan Roumie's portrayal of Jesus in The Chosen has been nothing short of transformative. For both him and for us, the fans of this amazing show, Jonathan himself has described the role as a life-changing experience, one that saved him during his darkest days. But now, after years of playing one of the most revered figures in history, he's set to star in a romantic comedy that's about as different from The Chosen as you can get. Yes, you heard it right. Jonathan said The Chosen no more, and decided to move on in a completely different direction. And yes, their reasons behind this shift are deeper than you would ever imagine. As many of you know, Jonathan's journey with The Chosen began during a tough chapter in his life. I was broke, I was out of food, I was desperate. He revealed in an interview and continued, all I could do was surrender my circumstances, my career, my life, everything over to God. Shortly after this epic surrender, he was cast in The Chosen, a role that, he says, saved his life. Yes, Jonathan has always been open about his Catholic faith, but we should admit that playing Jesus allowed him to deepen that spiritual connection. The Chosen has presented a lifeline to him both physically and spiritually. But while the role brought Jonathan unprecedented success and spiritual fulfillment, it came also with some personal challenges. Portraying such a beloved figure has created a unique relationship with us, aka his audience. After all, many of you guys often see him as a Christ-like figure off-screen as well. Even I see him as if he is some kind of a spiritual figure for me. Even though my brain know that he is just a man, the things he represents on the show and his vulnerable speeches in the interviews make me feel more for him. Apparently for Jonathan, navigating this blessing and a curse has been a balancing act of gratitude and boundaries. What would you do if you found yourself portraying a character so beloved and revered? How would you handle the responsibility? Let me know in the comments.
Say something. Do something. If you're more than a carpenter, show it to us now. Show it to us now. You said you could heal diseases.
There is no need to say that Jonathan's portrayal of Jesus has required intense preparation, including constant prayer and spiritual reflection. The first thing I do is pray. Lots and lots of prayer before every season, every scene, every take. He shared in a previous interview. Apparently, while he finds strength in his faith, the weight of representing such a revered figure can be overwhelming. In fact, some scenes, like the Last Supper and the Garden of Gethsemane, have challenged him in ways he couldn't anticipate. I have to surrender that moment. Say, God, you have to direct my steps because these are beyond my comprehension. He explained how he felt at that moment. Despite the spiritual fulfillment he gains from the role, Jonathan has also hinted that this intensity can take a toll. It is clear that his deep dedication to capturing Jesus' essence sometimes weighs heavily on him. Even our positive reactions, like heartfelt testimonies or our sense of comfort and healing from the show, have been both uplifting and humbling for him. I mean, can you even imagine the weight of some fans coming to you for spiritual solace and healing? As if. It is obvious that the success of The Chosen has been groundbreaking. Currently, it's one of the most watched shows in the world, with over 200 million people having tuned in. The series has allowed Jonathan and the rest of the cast to tell Jesus' story with an authenticity often lacking in Hollywood portrayals. According to Jonathan, this approach is the reason for the show's ability to resonate so deeply, saying it allows them to maintain the genuine spiritual truths of Jesus' message. I mean, we are also not just casual viewers for a random show. As The Chosen fans, we are committed to spreading its message. I believe knowing that we are also so dedicated adds to the pressure on Jonathan, but also gives him a profound sense of purpose. Do you remember when he met a young girl who came to hear him speak after burying her younger sister? And Jonathan said, if the show can be some kind of salve to someone's wounds, it's all been worth it. I mean, what other actor can experience such a powerful connection? I cannot think of a single name other than Jonathan. Despite all these, though, now, with his upcoming role in Solo Mio, Jonathan is about to switch gears in a big way. Solo Mio, which is a romantic comedy starring Kevin James, will feature Jonathan alongside stars like Allison Hannigan and Kim Coates. Here is what we know about the movie. The story follows James's character, Matt, whose fiancée leaves him at the altar. Forced to take his honeymoon alone in Italy, he embarks on a journey of self-discovery and finds a new love interest in the process. Jonathan's exact role in the movie hasn't been disclosed yet, But personally, I am very excited to see him take on a lighthearted character after years of intense, spiritually demanding work. I believe that in many ways, moving into a different genre might offer Jonathan a reprieve from the heavy expectations that come with playing Jesus. Transitioning into a rom-com could bring a much-needed break from the emotional and mental intensity he's endured. And it might even be a way for him to rediscover joy in acting itself. Given his desire to show people the Lord in a new light, his decision to venture into comedy could even add depth and versatility to his career while allowing him to enjoy a lighter side of the craft. Do you think switching to a rom-com will interrupt Jonathan's spiritual journey, or do you think this is a much-needed shift for him? Let me know in the comments below. We have to admit this, as rewarding as it is, the role of Jesus has had its mental and emotional toll on Jonathan. He's alluded to how much his life revolves around the chosen, from the fans like us who see him as a real-life Jesus figure to the intense scenes that require him to surrender himself fully. I mean, he describes moments when he needed to rely on prayer just to carry the emotional weight of scenes that depict Christ's suffering and sacrifice so often in the interviews that I can't help but feel sorry for him. Is it just me, or no one is strong enough to handle such heavy burden? Let me know what you think. Don't get me wrong. I know that for Jonathan, the chosen isn't just a role, it's a calling. Yet this level of commitment to such an intense, highly spiritual character can blur the lines between personal and professional life. I believe taking on a project like Solo Mio could be his way of preserving mental health and finding a balance, while also reminding us that there's more to him as an actor than his portrayal of Jesus. Like, he is not real Jesus, folks. We should remember this fact more often. What do you think? Will Roumie's new role help him find balance? Are you excited to see him in a rom-com? Share your thoughts below. For more updates on Jonathan Roumie and The Chosen, make sure to like and follow. To see the official release date of The Chosen Season 5, watch the video on the screen.